I'm in silent mode again. I gotta fire my cameraman, I think. He can't work for Kevin Costner. No. Am I on?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, taitu kinde. Hayok pia. Hoye chichape. I talk to you in a good way. Last week, we come together. Unka, oita aku iwo ahdake. Ka unya kendina, awi choch ta aku ichumpta ota yohape. Hina iwo ahdake. Unka hina wahadushtan shnike chame. Hina ta aku ed ota iwo ahdakapte yechiche. When I was talking about the women's roles last week, I feel that I wasn't done with it. There's many other things, many aspects of women's roles that we can talk about, and it's very important for the mothers, the grandmothers to learn the Oh, tid here. I thought it's important that the ladies of the families, family groupings, teospike indina. Taku I chumpi, wichoch I chumpi. Hohina. I feel that it's important to talk about the roles of the women, because it is them that they are tasked with bringing up the takojas. When they start being able to run around, the boys, the young boys and the girls, together they were sent on the mother's side, on the female side. There, the boys will learn how to be helpful, how to be respectful, and these kinds of things. So they'll be taught over there by the women of the family groupings. And after a certain age, when they're maybe 12, 13, maybe a little bit younger, it was the ladies of the household. They'll know when to kick that young boy on the man's side, to learn the roles that he must know as a man. So it was the men usually take them on that side and start teaching them about the men's roles. So it's very important, if we are going to learn the language again, it's important that the ladies, the females of the household, to know the language, the Dakota language, because all the children will be under their care from young to into teenage years. So it's important that the women of the clans, the women of the family, the women of the community, to learn the language, the spoken words, the spoken sentences, so they can teach the young ones as they're growing up. So by the time the boys are 12, 13, when they get kicked out to the men's side, they'll know commands and they'll know how to be respectful and being helpful. So the role of the woman is very important. From there, the youngsters, the takojas, start learning from the women. So I thought that we can't leave that side out, on only talking generic words as we've been doing, or mostly men, male gendered talk sentences. So I thought I'll mention that this evening again. And I feel that I didn't really do enough last week when I was talking about the women's roles. So we talked about those kinds of things. We talked about the roles like doing laundry, cooking, different utensils, and these kinds of things. If you remember that, we learned how to say spoon, tukiha, fork, wichape, chirupa tuna, the frying pan, wakshicha skokpa, the bowl, wakshicha, and those kinds of words. So I'm hoping that you will remember those words and how to put them into short sentences. Something's going off here. Omas ape, the phone. Omas ape. Omas ape, the phone. I'll talk a little bit about that after. Omas ape. Yeah. The role of the woman, as I was saying last week, the work of the woman is never done. My mom used to say that. Taku ichumpta ota. So let's go back to that as a kind of like a recap. What we talked about last week. How do you use these utensils? The spoon, the fork, the knife. Isan. Taku kabadape, baksaksape, tado, kabadape, baksaksape. Wahan pe kagape. Chechtanka, the big pot, chechtanka for your wahampi, you know. Tado baksaksa, ish tado kabadape, you dry the meat, you slice the meat. Chirupa tuna, the frying pan. Chirupa tuna ohana, chiruriakte, you fry your meat. Ishnika, or you can make soup, wahampi. Tado baksaksa. Chechtanka regero ohanaka. Bado obaksaksa. Panrizi carrots. These kinds of things. Wahampi karap. Ito apeto kede wahampi uge wakarekte. I will make some wahampi today. Ito apeto kede aguyapi uge wakarekte. I will make a bread today. Okadia wakarekte. Ish ocheti mahedi wakte. Agoya pe wakariga. Ocheti the stove mahedi wakte. Ish dina agoya pe bdewiaga. Chirupa tuna ohana agoya pe chirur wakte. Fry bread. Agoya pe.
What the frying pan was called?
Chirupa tuna. Chorupa tuna, the frying pan. Wihidi ohanakaba, you put wihidi, the grease in there, and make fried bread. These are words and sentences that you ladies should know, should understand going forward. How to say these simple words, simple sentences. Put them together to create a little bit of a conversation with your friends, you know, those that are interested, you know, so that you can pass it on to the takojas, the little ones. O tankang hina, the konshis, o tanka. Hina tashi storiapi Dakota yabdina. Ob waichanupti, you work together. Ob, with uspenichi chapter. You teach yourself about the spoken word, spoken sentence. Very simple. Chante ochoas ayape with belief and faith. Chante ochoas. You do these things, kaha. you'll be able to attain that goal that you set for yourself. And do it with Creator and prayer in mind, as I always say, so that you can be successful. You don't quit, and just keep moving forward. Tokatakia, tokatakia. Little by little, you take on the language. So hina, how do you use these utensils? We chape the fork. We chape isan tadobak saksa. Otape. Ishtukiha on with the spoon. Wahampi yatkampe wahampi yutape. Agoyape. Ocheti mahediape ahana with ahana. Otape. Aishnikaha, ahuyapi, chuguyapi, fry bread, ahana, wahampi, atkampi, wahampi, yutap. Ishtado, chuguyapi, bado yahana, with bread, with potatoes, bado, parizizi, carrots, vegetables like that. You make a meal. And that is one of the meals. Ishachanaka in the morning. When you wake up in the morning, you take your frying pan. And put your stove on. Wheatka, eggs. Hinashpayai. Hachanaka in there. Ito witka uresh pawayekte echanikte. You wake up thinking like that. Achanakide witka uresh pawayekte. I will cook some eggs this morning. And you go about the task of doing it. Chtani ha ish chtayed. Yesterday, last night, you had made some banik. Hahina. You rely on that again for the morning. If you finish all of it, then you're going to have to make some more. I remember my mom, she used to make banika sometimes twice a day. Once in the morning, once at supper time. Because there's many of us siblings. 12 siblings. We're not there. All of us weren't there all the time, but there'll be 7 or 8 of us running around there. So that's a lot of mouths to feed. I always wondered, how did they manage with that many of us around? But things were different back then. We chose each other, the generation tokcha back then. It was different. So my mom was very busy. After the breakfast, the witka, ishnika naku, bado, baksaksa, cheruria. You fry the bado, cheruria. Ish bado ke ohampe, you boil your potatoes and you put it there in the middle. Head ehenaka. Oh, kichepu, we help ourselves. There's always something on the table. It's still like that today. The mother is very busy taking care of the young ones. And I was mentioning that last week, how the role of the female, the women, their roles are basically still intact. Nothing has changed since colonial days. Nothing has changed, and because their roles are different than the male. The male is different, as I was saying. Some of our roles were taken away, hunting, and being protector, and all that was taken away. So we have a lot of idle time, and idle time sometimes is no good. And jobs are difficult to attain, to find these days. We choke a job. I'm going to go to work. Work, job. Hahena. Okay, I also talked about another function, another role that the women play, and I talked about the flooring, right? Owanka, the floor, yujajapta. Ito apeto kede owanka bedujajakta. Echanikta, you're gonna think like that. Or tuwe oyakidakikta, you'll tell somebody. Apeto kede ito owanka, the floor, bedujajakta. Minuhe makau, bring me some water. Herokashta, pour it in there in the mop pail. Chega, in the mop pail. Today there's many words in English that we don't have words for in Dakota. So don't be wondering. Well, I wonder, what kind of word is that for mop? Don't worry yourself over that. Just use the word mop. In English. Say the sentence in Dakota, and if you have to use the English word mop in there, well, that's fine. To me, and that's fine. You're learning, because there's no word for mop in Dakota. We can create one, but why? I mean, it's not very important to have a specific name for a mop. Back in the day, there was no mops. You did everything by hand. Pakintape. Pakinta means you're wiping it. Pakintape. Later on, there's mops, but before that, there's no mops. Or yujajape. You wash it. Wash the floors. You wipe it down. Hechanik te kan idota ke kita petukre. Oanka wakahintek te tokahaya. I'll sweep the floor. Kahinta. I'll sweep the floor. Hohehan, and then bedujajakte. I'll mop it up. Oanka ke bedujajakte. So you prepare your mop pail over there, chega. You find your mop. And you look for your soap. Wipajaja is soap. Wipajaja. Her oyakastunk that you pour it in there. Oanka dujaja. That's one task. And I talked about hayake last week, the clothing dujajakte. Hayake dujajakte apetukinde. Idotake kahechanikte. Ita apetukinde. Hayako rebe dujajakte. I'm going to wash some clothing. Ona hash ota shape. Bahaya yake. They're all in a pile over there. Laundry day. Am petukinde. Hayake bedujajak. Hayake hina au. Bring the clothing. Hina au bedujajak te. Get it prepared. Sort them out. Hayake sapsape hina deche. Hayake skaskag hina deche. Hina washing machine. Ayahanak. Wipajaja soap. Naku wipajaja bedu ayape. Wipajaja bedu. That's not the liquid form. Wipajaja bedu is the laundry soap that's granular. That's all we had back in the day, granular. Wipajaja bedu. Bedu, yeah. Wipajaja bedu, the granular form of laundry soap. Granular? Granular. Yokap tewaji, 1 cup yokap tewaji. Washing machine oyahanak. Oy cherahde. Atoshte kajajak te it'll clean it. Yujajak te kajajak te back and forth. Atuan cook. Do you watch that? Voyage atuan cook. Tohan you stunk when it's finished. Tohan you stunk. Isto yachu. Hina yachuga. Dryer hichi isto oyahanak. Dryer. Haijake echerahdi. Hina tosta puzikte. Kapuzikte. It'll dry it. Kapuzikte. So those are words and sentences that you might think about saying to yourself or to your children or household members, and try to create a conversation, however short it may be, and just build on it. I've always said, if you learn one word a day, how many days? On?
Yeah, we're back on now.
We're back on again. Yay! Last week I was out for about 10 minutes. I didn't even know, just talking away.
Slow battery, so.
Yeah. So, هنا يدوك something. Create. You can do it. You can do it. I know you can do it. There's one time at the Brandon University, Native Studies app and Dakota language app. I took university one time, and I took that first year of Dakota language. And there was a Kisuna lady there, an Asian lady there. She was better than me. She had higher marks than me in Dakota class. What? I said. Me did the Makota do there, I'm a Dakota. But where I think she beat me was in the grammar. I think, how do you what do you call these different words? Grammar or adjectives or whatever. That's where I failed. So anyways, I was kind of chazé for a while, but but I got over it.
I didn't know they referred to words like adjectives and nouns in Dakota.
Yeah. Hey chunk cha. The word cha will be an adjective, I think, right? It's an addition, I think, to the word itself or to the sentence itself. Yeah, I think, or prefix. These are the kinds of things I don't know. So I will, suffix. That's the grammar, right? And sentence structures. That's where I lost, I think, to this Asian lady. Anyway, so if you understand 365 words in 1 year, really understand what it means, and I think you're well on your way to learning the language and to be able to make sentences, short sentences.
That's almost his book, if you were to go through it.
Oh yes. And here's a book. Wo api de 550 Dakota verbs api.
One a day.
One a day. Yes. Oyaki hipida. Harlan Fontaine and Neil McKay api. Chante maza ichapi Dakota treasure. Hobog destra Neil McKay tohniket. Kchiwawa hadake back in 2010, somewhere around there. Rapid City api hichi. Umnichi tanka. Dakota, Lakota, Nakota, Yapta, Hichi, Keep. Unkahobo Heda, Badak, Neil McKay, Jep, Minnesota, Hicheta. Dakota, Yeche. Hinawaste. You have resources like that, South Dakota, Minnesota, Itke. You have resources that you can go and ask for assistance in learning the language. It's very important. Learning the language is important. Why it's important is just recently, the other day, for the American Wotak, which has the attention to happen, Trump is rounding up illegal immigrants, and some Indians down there too. You have to be careful, and they want to know if you are an Indian. So you better know how to talk Dakota, just in case you get arrested. That's one good reason why you should be able to speak the language. You should speak the language. So there's a big concern down that way, but I think it's very important to know who you are. Who you are is your Indian name. What you are is your Dakota. And where you're from is from your Dakota territory, whether it's a reservation today or not, and that's where you're from. So those are very important. So we choch ayape. Wohda yashkampkaha. Speak as you're doing your daily routines. And there's many other things. Hokshid awayankapi, looking after the babies. The wakaj awan check up it. Would we check up it? You feed them. We change up it. You wash them, you bathe them. Achtaituka ewe champap. Ishtima ewe champap. You put them to bed. Achanaka, we chayu chijap, you wake them up. And the day starts all over again. So over and over again, it's a repetition, but it's a long day for the women of the household. So, and there's other things like wachpe kagape. Wachpe is tea. Ito wachpe ugewa kagekte. Echanikte, you think about that. Echanukte. Okay, mini. Down meaning yusidipe. You turn the tap on yusidipe mini. Wachpe ikadie, the teapot. Mini oakashta. You pour water in there. Ocheti, the stove, chedahade. Akan addict. Don meaning he ipirika when the water is boiling. Ipirika. Wachpe oyahanek. Hawachpe akach. Iokapte. Kap iokapte ohana. Wachpe. Wachpe dat kampe. Wachpe oyatkum. Your tea for the morning. Ish pijuta sapa. The Canadian Dakotas, we say pijuta sapa, black medicine is the coffee. Black medicine. Pijuta sapa. Hanang ha tokach Dakota kinde pijuta sapa coffee gde at kam he ha. Ukini he pijuta ki chipin it. They must have thought in the back days, making coffee, grinding coffee. They thought the Washit was making medicine. He went pijuta sapa app. Ichin Dakota, pijuta kagap ka yuk pompe. Yeah, pijuta yuk pompe. On a pijuta kagap. Hija yechiche. Back in the day, it wasn't granular badushne, it was coffee beans back then. You have little coffee grinders. So heche da hana wachpe kagap. Pijuta sapa kagap. Lakota gisha wakalapi ape. Tituang dina Lakota tituang wakalapi ape. Khafi ape nako. Well, that's the pronunciation for my Dakota friend, Lakota friends down there. Khafi. Nakota gdeish hohek dinesh ruyabi ape. Ruyabi. That's their coffee. I'm going to make some wakalapi, royabi, pizzuta sapo unyatkomte. Aija yechi dia kage mini yachiga. Pizzuta sapa ikadi hea ki hebini oyahanaki. Ipirika oyahanaki. Danish, you just go to Timmy's. Well, I do anyways. Timmy's iktayaba. Order, yeah. Double. Mishe yomak pe. Pizzuta sapa, double. You have to. Mishe yomak pe. I like that bish double. So Danish tokja. $2.19 for your coffee. O tuenta. O tea winta ape. O tuenta. That's a community, Wita. Remember we talked about Wita, an island of houses, an island. Oti is where you live, inside the island of houses. Oti, Wita, that's a town. Oti Wita, Tonka, big city, lots of houses. We showed them. Hina Dakota ia hina unisbeba ahapke ha washtikte. You teach yourself uspinich ichip. So achpe achana akagik takito achpu akagik. Isito wakalapu akagik. Is wahapu akagik. Agoya po akagik. Agoya po churu agoya po short sentences, 2 or 3 words I've been using. You can do it. And then you can have conversational Dakota with somebody else. Pick somebody, a friend. If you have the interest of Dakota, repeat, repetition. As I said, there's books on Dakota that you can purchase if you're truly wanting to learn. You have to help yourself. Nobody's going to do it for you. Dakota yapide tayachinda, wichada kahina chanak. Individuals like this, Neil McKay, they're available. Hina tukted umpido, wichon rapa. Dakota, otanka Dakota ya umpido hinach. The elders are still out there speaking the language. Ektawi chapo, go over there, go see them. Chadiwi chakapo. O makia, help me, as how a woman would say to a female. O makia. And the male will say, O makia wo, Dakota I api. Iwikchu wachi, I want to take it back. O unkiapo, help us. And I'm sure, Onichiapted, I'm sure they will help you. So those are some of the functions, the roles of the woman. Without the kushis, without the inas, or the tuins, the aunties, without their help, the family settings will not suffer, but they'll have a hard time. if these very important roles are not done during the day, to bring up wakaj the shichacha, the young ones. So hina Dakota iya yashkampke hao washtedo. So hina un speech ichiapo Dakota we cho the spoken Dakota words like tukiha, isa, wichape, wakshicha shkokpa, wakshicha tanka, chera tanka. My mom, she was busy all the time, and there's a pot there. She always said, the one that's resourceful, the one it's not lazy, this pot. She always uses that. Whatever she does cook that day, she uses this pot more than the other ones. And she used to say, waji wakshicha, or waji that pot, the one that's always doing something, minihacha. She used to name that. Waji minihacha wakshit no wakshicha, or the pot, waji minihacha hemak bring it. You know, she used to say. I used to hear her say those words to my sisters. You know, she had a favorite pot. And she uses that all the time. So hina, very important roles that we must play as female, as male, to make the family work. To make the family work. Then we have a hard time. We're hungry. The clothes that we wear shop, they're dirty. If the woman doesn't do her work, they don't wash their face. They don't comb their hair. Remember we said those words back in about a month ago. We talked about taking care of yourself, your personal self. These are functions of a family setting. It might seem repetitious. There's only so many words in Dakota that you can use in a day to make your family activities complete that day. There's only so many words that you can use. You use those many, many times in a day. Once you learn all those, then you'll be able to function in Dakota your daily activities. There's only so many words that you can use to describe your daily life. Whatever I said so far, those are basically the majority of the words that you will use to be able to speak in Dakota describing your daily activity in the household. Ish naka utuenta pe wana woyote food. It's not specific, it's just food. Wana you woyote chona na ai. Our food is getting a little bit low. Ito tonta bedekta, I'll go to the town. Woyote re opera tankta. Restock your shelves. I'm running low on flour. Aguyap tachagu, the sliced bread. Wa'eya, sandwich for the school. Takoja going to school. Wa'awaya. Aguyap tachagu, tado babadabdapi. Kokara ohana in cans. Kokara ohana uge. Kaha wa'eya lunch wakakikta. Wa'eya. Aya, to take. Aya, to take. Wa'eya or wa'aya, taking lunch. Either to work wa'ech hanung heche. Ishwaya wa tibechi takoja. Hina wa'eya, wa'aya, aya. To have wotapte, wayota hanka. Hecha uge hoebedekta. I'll go get some. Yechikana, the vehicle. Viechikana ohana dekt. One year to, in the winter time, ichamana gash, even though it's ichamana, it's stormy, gosh, otontaki yahidad, because it's important to keep the stores, the food, well stocked. Because kids have to go to school, you're gonna eat. So hino tonta hoye, no payaton, you buy it, ake ayaku. Ayahadi, timahed ayahadi, you come inside, timahed ayahadi. Hina, taya eake hinok. Ake taya nakape apetu tonakcha, you live well again for a few days. And then starts all over again, okay. You have to replenish, okay. You buy on top of aopetu. So the takojas, the wakanjas, shichecha, they're happy. Ipipi, wotapi, hunya, ipi, yokpipi, shkatapi. They play. Hina, very important. Hina ichunk umpte. Because that is our responsibility to do that. And now we choch unkitapi as adults, otanka. Our responsibility to function like that so everybody is happy. Yokpip. Hohena we cho ie tonankcha he mu. These are some of the words that I've used to describe what you have to do throughout the day. It's not endless amount of words. No, there's only certain amount of words that you're going to use in Dakota to describe your activities for that day. Once you understand those things, those words, then you start putting them together. Each koyag yaekta, you put them together. Each koyag adikt. A sentence yakakta. I know, so do I. It'll make you feel good. I can do that. I can do it. Yes, you can do it. Anybody can do it. It's just that we don't use it every day, and it's some of us are the older people. It's our fault that we don't speak it every day, and we should. Tukte diapkashta. Wherever you go, tukte dashta. Dakoti aya unkaha. Techak dena the young ones nach umpte. Ka iokach nechapte, they will understand by it. The spoken word, how it's pronounced, doket ked ayapkindina. Hechunkia otanka kedeno uge unkia, ichunk umpta ieche chatka ichunk umpshne. We don't do it. And we have to be conscious of that, the elders that are here in the community. We have to be conscious of that, to use the spoken Dakota word, how it's pronounced, and these kinds of ways. When the young people say a word that's a little bit different, that's because we're not teaching them. That's because they're not listening, hearing those words and how to say it properly. There's corrections that need to be made in a good way. But we, the otanka, the elders, the adults that still speak the language here, oyankikin, that let's consciously do that. We think about that, and let's consciously do it. Tukte oyamkashta mozopieta sbakah di wheel patipi. Ishkakia gaming center hichi. Ishtet waichum dead hukuya waichum. Band office. Then I oyamka Dakota oyankumpte yechichatka. So I challenge the otanka in this community, Wipazakawakpa. Let's start doing that. Let's start speaking the language. Wherever we go in our daily life, daily function here, always be conscious of that we should be talking. So we can't be faulted for the loss of language of the next generation. We I challenge the otanka. Let's do that. Today, Chikuya at the offices, had the receptionist app. Dakota yapistadapta yechichatka. How do you greet? How do you greet the people coming in? Words like, let's say the receptionist down here at the offices. You should know and learn words like, Duwe wadaka yachin. Who do you want to see? They might tell you. Okay. Iotaka. Sit down. Dosta owaki yakekte. I will tell that person. Itogash iotaka. Then umas apiyachaga. Du khadakti, you ring that person. Somebody come to see you. Somebody wayagnihi come to see you. Those kinds of words we should know at the band office to say how to greet people. And then we will sound like a Dakota community. Due Dakota Dakota kicked. That person that's entering that office, you know that's a Dakota, then you speak Dakota to him. Dakota kshi. Due wadaka. Due wadaka yachi. Due wayagyahi. Hinaka toshta waki kicked. Then if there's a washichu coming in, then you can speak English, yeah. A little challenges like that. Because I've said that, now the young girls that are down here greeting people, you should know now, if you're watching or if you're going to be watching, how to greet people. Tim and Hugh, come inside. Tuwe wadaka yachin hai. Tuwe wayagi yahi hai. Iotaka. Doshta oaki yakikta. I'll tell that person. Simple. You can learn that. After that, you can speak English. But that greeting, teach yourself that greeting. How beautiful would that sound, eh?
Yes.
When you walk into the office, say, ho, dokariyaoha. Nape we tries, you shake hand. Dina, the greeting words would be so awesome to hear in these offices. Yeah.
Instead of saying,
Takuyachin, what do you want, Well, that's what the office is for, for seek assistance. Is omnichia hikte tueghe. Omnichia is to come together in a meeting. Omnichia pe. Totiman waika. Omnichia yo hapte. Ektabedeka. Tue receptionist. Oh, tue wadaka ya chin. Eka. Oh, de omnichia. Ektabede. I come to the omnichia, the meeting. Oh, hediotaka. Tosta wichaki akikte. I'll tell them. Mas apiyachi. So and so is here. Then when I hear. Wakan Ushua, if they tell him to come upstairs. Wakan dekta kapi you to go upstairs. Omanichi hechia to the office, to the meeting. Those kinds of words, will be awesome to hear at the band office. So if you're listening, the receptionists or the council, encourage that. Let's sound Dakota when we greet people.
How do you say, tell them I'm not here?
That you shouldn't learn. Heck, say our station there. Achpea. Dead mankishni do. I'm not sitting here. Dead wa unshni do. I'm not here. Okiako. Tell that person. Yeah, so. So henaksak tero no una shakoe up. It's 7 o'clock. So itogash uzium kiapte will take a short break.
back on.
Testing one, chanu, payamini, topa, zapta, shakpe, shahadoga, napjiwaka, vikjemina, ake wanji, ake nupa, ake yamini, ake topa, ake zapta, ake shakpe, ake shakomi, ake shahadoga, ake napjiwaka, vikjemina nupa. Testing 1 to 20. So we're back again. Okay. Unhadipe. Takun yudi oyampe. We had a little lunch. Takun yudi yap. Agoyape. Ochete mahedi yape. Tado. Baloni. Babadabada. Chogugoya. Iahana unta. Wachpe unkayat kampe. We washed it down with wachpe. Kapopa pida. Pop. Drink. Kapopa pida. Unyat kampe. Kapopa pida. That's how you said a long time ago.
Okay.
You know how you...
Yeah.
Yeah. Kapopa pida. Kapopa pida. Yeah.
That's a new word for me.
Kapopa pida. That's the pop. I should write that down, huh?
The popa pita was chi, huh?
Ka po pa pida. Ka po pa pida. That's your pop, your Coke, your Pepsi.
Popa pita.
Ka po pa pida. That's your pop, your drinks. Pepsi. I'm a Pepsi drinker. For those of you that might buy me a kapopa pida.
Now you know.
Or pay me a chatumteki, huh? If you're gonna buy me a pop, Pepsi yomakpe. No, huh? So there's somebody, I won't mention names, suggested we should talk about I Ching. No skinu. We use that word a lot, I Ching. That's an everyday language. That should be one of your 365 words to learn. If you're new here tonight and you just learned I Ching, after, later, you've just learned one word. You only have 364 to go now. I Ching. Some say I Chi. I Chi. I-C-I, I Chi. It's actually supposed to be I Ching with a nasal N on it. A long nose. I Ching. After. I Ching otoan tabedekte. I'm going to go to town after. I Ching. Tokiadekta hai. After. Where are you going? I Ching otoan tabedekte do. Ake echada wakukte do. I'll come home soon again. Hey chia ya ika, huh? When you get over there, hey chia. Hey chia ya ike, huh? Tak to kanukta. What are you going to do when you get over there?
Bingo bedekte.
Hey chia wa ika, huh? Bingo bedekte. Bingo washkatekte. Wo uhie winnings awakukte. Wo uhie winnings.
How do you spell? Wouldn't, like, if you're going to town like Brandon, is that Oil?
Oiogeta, yeah.
How do you spell that?
Oiogeta, that's a word that we used before Canada was Canada.
Oh, really?
Yes. Oioge is where the Dakotas used to cross at a shallow part in the river, that's where you cross. Iuch yaft opte. On the other side, you cross it. Iuch. So Oioche is the name for Brandon. There's a shallow kind of a swift current there where the Dakotas used to, when they're coming from the east, they'll cross there all the time when they come across. Oioche. Otoeta. Otinwita. Oioche. Brandon. O I U Re. O I U Re. The place where you cross the river. O I U Re ta. Ta is there. O I U Re ta. O I U Re ta bedekte. I will go to Brandon. I will go to that place where you cross the river. O eogeta bedektedo ichi after later. Bingo ashkatiktedo. I will play bingo. O hiwaiktedo. I will win. Mazaska awakuktedo. I'll bring home mazaska money. No skeno. That word, we use that word a lot too. No skeno. That's if you're undecided what it is that you're going to say. You know, a word that you use when you're undecided.
I heard that word a lot
No.
from the old people.
No skeno. No skeno could be and then or also. You know. Brandon H. Yawaika, Oyo Geta Waika, huh? Bingo Washkatikte. I'll play bingo. Naku and also no skeno Wopawatunkte. I'll purchase some items. No skeno is because you're undecided. There's other things you're going to do. No skeno. Some other things. You know, nuskenu.
Wopetu?
Wopetu is to go shopping.
Purchase items or shopping?
Shopping, yeah. Ito noskehe auto. If you're not sure of an item, how to say it, when you're talking to somebody and you want something like this G, whatever this is, I don't know what, Gatorade, right? I don't know how to say Gatorade, then I will tell Tunshka, ito nuske hemakuta, nuske that thing, nuske. Yeah. See how you use that word? Nuske. Or nuske nu means and then, because you're not sure of it, right? Nuske nu, and then. That's the word nuskenu. Nuskeki, that specifically. Nuskeki heto maku. Nuskeki to au. Bring that whatever that is. Nuske. Pop is kapopapida. That's your Pepsi or your cherry Coke or whatever to your liking. Tako nish ionik pi. Kapopapida. In the back days, they used to use that word. How you open the lid or the cap of the pop. You pop it open. So another word. That's 3 words. So you still have 362 to go yet. And it's very easy. So you already learned 3 words. You know, that's how easy it is. Ichi means after, later on, you know. Nuskenu, and then, because you're undecided what you're gonna say next, or so noske king that, whatever you call that, noske te maku au. You kind of get the idea, yeah. And we learned that our friends from across the medicine line are listening in again. Ho ichichiape, aka nakupta nakape, yomak pida. Nija hinohna takun iwohdak picha hecha unkokia kapo. Hina iwohdak kapo unkoki hipe. If you think if you think of a word or an action, whatever that you would like to be discussed here, that you want to know about, just let us know. Wo apikaga sent a text. Wo apikaga means send a letter. Long time ago they used to do that. Say that. Wo apikaga. They're writing a letter. Wo api is this. Wo api is the paper. Wo apikaga. They're making a paper. They're making words on that paper. Wo apikaga. Send it by text, any subject items, words, we'll be glad to talk about it. That's how you'll learn. Because I don't know how much you know or whatever. You can't be sitting there quietly for a month or so. Listening for that word that you want to hear. We might not use it, so it's better to let us know. Tell us so we can. We'll talk about it. That's how we learn. These phones. The phone is called Omaza Ape. Omaza Ape is the phone. Omaza Ape, the phone.
Is that two separate words or?
Ha. Kinda like O is to identify it, right? Identify it? Yeah. O Maza Ape. It's not ape either, it's ape. It's not wa'unchada. Ape is a wa'unchada.
Is that like could that mean either a cell phone or?
Yeah, a cell phone, yeah. Or a form of communication, right? It could be a laptop, or because you can make phone calls on a laptop, right? Where that letter maza ape is a means of communication. Goes back in the back days again. The telegraph. There's little things that the guy that handles the telegraph. You know how. Maza ape.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
why.
yeah, maza. Yeah, that's why it's called. Maza ape, omaza ape. You're hitting the maza, the iron, yeah, to a form of communication. But we shorten it and we say omas ape, omas ape. We shorten on. We don't say omaza ape. We say omas ape, omas ape. O mas, it'll be an S ape.
Not ape.
O mas ape.
Not well to that.
So, maza ape, you're hitting a steel or iron. Maza ape. I'll tell you a story in Dakota about o mas ape, about hitting the iron as a mean of communication. To Dakota, I'll tell you a short story about Omas Ape and the Dakotas when they first heard how the Washitas communicate. Telegraph, Maza Ape. So, hanang ha, oh, Dakota ga, chapamo na tokit ke hiape, chako hiap. Nago ga shoakat, tokit ke hiap. Hawana he, no, maza chanku kaha pe wana, maza chanku. Head onke. Head hiap onka, head Dakota, head. Iama, yahawan kakap. Maza chaku ye kinde het nuge kya nagapton ke maza chaku kide. Akiyen ichuga ke apache ka. Nagapton ke. Heche edi aba edi nashe. Tede takto kanu he de apo. Hier de mas pido tiata aka. Oh. Toker kapi. Tayo kapi do ake apache. He. Du är det nakonsne här. Hej shi vi chahana ye. Tak studie chi daga he chedo onke. Ake pega na kapton kacheka. Oya ka khni kape taku yo hadake about the phone. How it started from telegraph. Maza ape. There's a kind of like a joke. It's a joke in Dakota. When they first heard about the communication that how the Washichu communicate by telegraph, or maza ape, they're hitting that iron, that steel to communicate. For there's one time, there's a family, they're going somewhere on the move, but already there's a railroad track there. So it must be around 1800s, late 1800s, railroad track there already. And they're going then somewhere that day. And that happened upon an Indian. He was laying there on the railroad track there, and he had his ear to the track. And he had a stone on one side. And he'll hit that track. Maza ape. He'll be listening. Okay, he'll hit it. He had his ear on the track, railroad track. So they got up to him and said, "What the heck are you doing?" "Oh, I'm phoning my family," he said. So they had to go along with it. They said, "So what did they say? How are they doing?" "Oh, they said they're doing okay." He had his ear on the railroad track. He'll hit it again. That's not how it works. That's an Indian Dakota joke. Back in the day. So that's where Omas Apik comes from. The phone. Can't live without it these days. It's very important as a means of communication, and we should be able to use it as a learning tool too also. With some of the members here, the Tushka, we text in Dakota. Once you learn how to write in Dakota, and again there's books for that, you can text in Dakota. Yeah. Remember the vowels A, E, O, U? You can write them down, and then you can text each other. So it's a learning tool. Valuable for your learning. So hina we use those. The pen. Ichagu is you make a mark or you scratch. The pen or the pencil. The paper. You write. In the back days, that's how I learned how to read and write in Dakota, because I lived with my kushi. And she had a sister down in Fort Peck Reservation, down in Poplar, down that way. And used to write each other in Dakota. So when Kushi gets a letter, when a letter comes here, comes to her, It said, Takoja de michi yawa. Read this for me, grandson. So I'll take it. And in the beginning, she taught me how to read it first. And then after a while, I was able to read it for her, what her sisters say. Then she used to say, "Ichipash wopi michacha, make a letter for me." And I'll write whatever she wants to say to her sister. I'll write it in Dakota, and then I'll send it down. That's how I learned how to write Dakota and read in Dakota. I was young that time, but 10, 11, 12, somewhere in there. I was able to write in Dakota already. I was taught, and then Mija, I taught myself. So today you can use that, how to text in Dakota, you can do that. Ava Koda Tahashi, Tim, he lives out west. When the hockey game is on, when Zach is playing, Zach Whitecliff, Vegas Golden Knights will be texting in Dakota. I enjoy doing that. Okay, we joke around, these kinds of things. So it's a tool to use. I recommend that you practice, you do that, to write in Dakota also. I think about those things, and it's good that out there people are wanting to learn about specific words that we use every day. We use these words every day. Dakota Unkiyapka, when we're talking Dakota, we use these words every day. So hena ampetu ayapi at the day, ampetu during the day. We hinapika hand talk, we hinapik. We hiaye. Ki we kudia dutch. Achtayetu. Okpas. Ampetu. Chtayetu. Chtayetu is evening. Chtayetu. Evening. So ampetu is day. Chtayetu is evening. Okpaze. Okpaze is dark. And dark. At night. Okpaze, dark night. Night. Or dark. Morning. Did we do this already? We did, right? I thought we did. But just to go over it again. Morning. Hach-a. Echi-ataha. Echi-ya-ta. That's an N. Hach-a echi-ataha. In the morning. Some say han-hepe. Okay, han-hepe ape. Maybe the Titwa. Han-hepe apka, that's in the morning. Okay, hach-a echi-ata in the morning. Hach-ana, the start of the day tomorrow. Hach-ana echi-ata in the morning. You start your day, right?
Should there be another H on there?
Hach-a echi-ata. Yeah, you could. This is the shortened version. Hach-ana echi-ata. You can write it that way too. That's in the morning. We chokaya yakeka when it gets here, and we could chokaya de yakeka. The morning is over. Viotaha sampa api. Viotaha sampa. Viotaha is the sun is right here. That's when you eat noon. Viotaha. We, Iotaha, the highest, the sun will go. Iota is the highest or the most. We, Iotaha, is right at the highest. Viotaha sampa is in the afternoon. Viotaha sampa. Viotaha. Viotaha. We is the sun, yeah. We is the sun. Iotaha is the most, the highest. Highest it'll go. Viotaha.
The police radio or whatever.
Oh. So live.
I don't even know how to.
Noon.
Viotaha sampa is afternoon. Past the highest, the sun will go past, now it's going down. Chtayetu itkia, yeah. Chtayetu itkia. Viotaha noon, Viotaha sampa, past noon. These are everyday words that you could use. I know you can use these words every day. There's not a day that goes by without you talking about time. Time. This has to do with time. In the morning. You should I'll go to the post office. I'll go get paper. Post office. So you use those words every day. When now we're getting to the noon hour, close to it, lunch. When now we'll eat lunch. When now I'll warm something up. You don't have to make a big meal. A lunch. I'll warm something up. Well, now it's getting close to lunchtime. So you use these words every day. Every day. And then Viotaha sampa, now it's in the afternoon. When it's afternoon, I'll go to town. Bless you. I wasn't going to say anything that first time. The second time I had to say something. So Viotaha sampa, in afternoon, now you're thinking the evening meal. We're going to have a meal in the evening. Shakpe apekaha. Shakpe ape, 6 o'clock. Shakpe apeka wa'untapte, or thereabouts. It doesn't have to be right at 6 o'clock, but close to it. Shakpe apeka wa'untapte. Chtayetu wa'untapte. Ito takun kadwaikte. Ito takun spanwaikte. Span is cooking. Takun spanwaikte. Chtayetu wa'untapte. Well, now when it's all done, put all the food there. Woyote spanyaying hina chokata ahiyahade. Wahana wotapi. Table. Wahana wotapi. Wahana is akan. Akan wotapi. Wahana wotapi. The furniture that you used to eat on. Wahana wotapi. Table. Wahana wotapi. Wahana. Wahana. Wotapi. on. This could be on top, maybe. Wotapi, eat. Wahana wotapi, on
And that's
top, eat.
table?
That's table, yeah. Table. I should write table. Table. Wahana wotapi, table. So takun spayaya, whatever you cook, wahana wotapi, or chokai in the middle, chokai. Then you ask your family, oh, Hiyub, come, wotab. Oh, no, yeah. It's ready now. Hiyub, wotab. Oh, no, yeah. Come and eat, it's ready. These words you can use every day. Wahana wotapi. Chan akanya kapi. The chair. Chan akanya kapi. Cha akanya kapi au. Bring the chair. Ded iotaka. Sit here. Chan akanya kapi. Should I write that? Chair. Chan is wood. Akan yakapi. Yakapi. Wood on sit. Wood on sit. Chair. Chan akan yakapi. Chair. Chan akan yakapi. Au. Bring that chair. Iataka. Sit. Wata. Eat.
JC has a question.
What? Which one? This one here?
Yeah. Talk about going to get the mail.
Oh, I just did, yeah. Yes. The mail, wowapi. Mail, post office. Wowapi, hoebedikte. Wowapi is the mail. Wowapi. Hoebedikte. I'll go get it. Ichin. Wowapi hoebedikte. I'll go to the post office. Wowapi. Hoebedikte. I'll go to the post office. Go get mail. I'm going to pick up something too. Whatever you're going to eat, a little bit. So hina, these are everyday words. Everyday words. Woapi could be newspaper as well. Woapi could be newspaper. Wakahadi tipihechia at the gas bar. Wakahadi tipita bedekte. I'll go over to the gas bar. Wakahadi ureawakastunkte. I'll put some gas, petrol in there. Hehan woapi hoebedikt. I'll go get the paper after that. These are little words that we can put together with action words, verbs. Hoebedikte, that's a verb, that's an action word. Mail is the noun, action is hoebedikte. Even just 2 words. Woapi hoebedikte, 2 words. That means a lot. Then I understand where you're going. Dokedahe, where are you going? Woapi hoebde, okay, the post office. Okay, yeah. Oh, toshtake. Toshtake. I'll see you again. Hina. oyaki hipkaha, if you can, owa adapte, you write it down. Just like keeping notes, the meaning of the words, dina. If you learn how to talk English, I'm sure you can learn how to talk Dakota. Once you apply yourself. Once you hear the spoken words, that's why I'm challenging the Otankagdina here, dead, to speak all the time. We should be conscious of that, make a decision to do so. We're in a crisis situation. Wana aush akaido yam. So hina nach upka tachagdina, the young ones tachagdina, the new ones tacha. Nach umpka hatche studiapte, ija I apte. They will speak also. Repetition happy over and over and over. You'll hear it. And then you'll be able to pronounce it properly too. I know you can do it. Oyaki hipida. I had a kind of a funny story. I had a dog one time, and we just lost him a couple of years ago. It was one of the sad days too. And because you make a bond with your pets, with your dogs. We had him that was my daughter's, my Shunkshi's dog, and he was very knowledgeable in the spoken Dakota word. Tell him to go sit down, like he'll know those things. He'll learn the commands in Dakota. Prior to that, many years ago, I had a dog too, and that's all I spoke to him was in Dakota. And over in White Bear, I have a bro over there. He had the same kind of dogs too over there. And there's a powwow that weekend. So we didn't want to leave our dog at home. We had to take him because we were going to spend a few days over there. We didn't want to leave him. So I phoned my bro over there in White Bear, Freddie. And say, hey, bro, we're coming for the powwow. We're going to stay a few days. I don't want to leave my pet at home, my dog, my Shunka. Can you look after him for the weekend for me? Oh, sure. He said, yeah, bring him. I'll keep him here for the weekend. Or however long you're going to stay, he says. And he's got lots of dogs too. He loves his dogs. And he said, I'll put my indoor dog outside. I'll tie him up and I'll keep yours inside, he said. I said, yeah, that'll work, sure. Does he understand commands and all that? And I said, yeah, he does. Yeah, he can understand. Okay, he said, bring him. So I took him there to his house and left him there for the weekend powwow. I think it was that Sunday I went to check up on him. Oh, he had that house all torn up inside, dog food everywhere, and my bro was sitting in the corner over there kind of scared of my dog, and he said, I'm glad to see you. I said, what the heck, this dog doesn't listen. I said, what? He listens. So I called him in Dakota. He come running over. Were you talking to him in Dakota? I asked him. He said, no, I was talking to him in English. Well, he doesn't know English, I told him. All he knows is Dakota. So even a dog, when you talk to them repetitiously, they'll understand. You know? Once you hear the spoken word. So we laughed about that when I spoke to him. I gave him commands in Dakota. He was able to do it. Come sit down, go lie down over there, behave, and all these kinds of things. We had a good laugh anyways. So, once we hear the spoken word over and over, we can understand it. So, hina mitakuepe haktaituke iwo hadakawachi. Wia taku wichoka ichumpi. The role that the woman plays is so very important for the well-being of the household, the family household. Lots of things you have to do to keep the home going. So hina Dakota iya bdu iyaska. In Dakota, I translated in Dakota so you'll understand and be able to say it in Dakota. I left certain words out like wihidiskada. What is wihidiskada? White grease. That could be your Crisco oil, it could be your lard. Wihidiskada. So words like that, everyday words, you can teach yourself and be able to use it as you go about your day. Miniskuya chahampi, and these kinds of words. So I encourage you again to keep on learning. Toshta ake, again, toshta ake, achana, tomorrow, achana. Ake kawita umhiyotakapti, we'll come together again. And we will talk about these things maybe on different subject. So toshta ake achana, wachiakapte, waonki chiakapte. I will see you tomorrow. We will see each other tomorrow again. Ake wonhudakapte, we'll talk again. Hechitro mitakepe, to kita anahupta nakape, ananataha somewhere. To kita anahupta nakape. Opede chichiapido. Hachtaitu opte akiapte, hachana amayakinipe. Taya amaychihidakapo, look after yourself. Hechitro mitakepe, hahu.